Welcome to the Jordan Leer program, the 97th edition of this podcast. A comedy podcast, if you will. You know, somebody asked me, people ask me all the time, they email me constantly saying, what is the Jordan Leer program about? You fucking tell me, you fucking dipshit. I'm sorry. What is the Jordan Leer program? These are incoherent ramblings from a comedian that doesn't have a fucking open mic to go to on a Friday night. Gosh, or if I did, I'd have to drive. I mean, I could. They're everywhere. It's an infestation. I don't approve of the surplus of comedy or the gratification of comedy, and I certainly don't approve of anyone taking comedians fucking seriously. So if you take any of these words seriously, may God have mercy on your soul. But I guess, are you supposed to like not take that seriously? I don't know. You're in an endless snake loop. Anyways, it's all fun and games. This is all bullshit. Okay? Like I said, I'm like Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of The Departed when he gives that tape to that chick he'd been banging for like 2 weeks, and he's like, "There's just no one else. There's no one else." You know. And I'm a comedian. I'm working in the satire. I'm throwing words against the wall. Hopefully you're driving somewhere and you're bored and you're like, let me listen to an idiot. I'm not an idiot. I'm a very smart man. I've been told by some, maybe the person that I'm going to marry, she said, you are a very well-rounded individual, you know? And can I bring that to the world? I don't know. My 5th grade teacher tried listened to this podcast once, and she said, you know, just too many cuss words. Well, this entertainment isn't for you, and I don't believe in making entertainment for anyone. I meant to say, I don't believe in making entertainment for everyone. But I think that's what I mean by it, though. I don't believe in making entertainment for anyone. You do it for yourself. This isn't even for me. I don't know. It's like working out. Just to fucking do it. Everyone should have their own podcast that no one listens to. Okay? And mine is the Jordan Leer program. It's a stage name I adopted. My real name is Dick Dickerson. Yep. I was born a dick, and I grew another Dickerson on the way. I always dare someone to ask me about my comedy because, you know, when I started out doing stand-up pre-TikTok fucking 2012, 13, and I'm up there just saying some of the most vile shit imaginable. And people are asking, they're like, did you really mean what you said about how the only way to train a dog is to beat the shit out of it and rub its face and shit? And I'm like, no, but God, I feel bad for you. You came to a comedian. You know, that was the beginning of it. Because you can't even fucking take the news or the president seriously anymore. And they're saying shit way crazier than I'm saying. And they're doing real shit. So I get it why you might look to the Jordan Leer program and think there's an ounce of truth in there. All right. It's like John Lennon said. It's just words, mate. Some dude showed up at John Lennon's house once and he's like, yo, this song you wrote, it's about me, man. It spoke to me. And John Lennon's like, nope, I didn't write about nothing. I saw John Cougar Mellencamp. I saw a quote from him the other day. He said, I don't know where these songs come from. I wish I fucking knew. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. All right, what's going on with me? I made a film. It's called Sex, Drugs, and Open Mics. It's a mockumentary about my life. That's something to look out for in the Jordan Leer sphere. I also put out a music album. Been writing songs for a long time. I decided to pull out the old microphone and lay them down. I didn't even record any of the ones I wrote before. I recorded a bunch of new ones. They're just fucking coming out. So, you know, if you're interested in me as an artist, find the Jordan Leer website, jordanleer.com. My stage name, like I said, my real name's Dick Dickerson. Grew a dick, grew another Dickerson along the way. What else is going on with me, man? I didn't get into drama school. Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly, I auditioned for Juilliard in Yale. Fuck, man. I'll just be totally dishonest with everyone out there. I never had aspirations or dreams of Juilliard in my life. Like, I've discovered the world as I encountered it, you know? Like, I mean, I probably didn't even know what Juilliard was until I saw this this comic. Simon Gibson talked about it on stage in LA once. I remember he's one of the greatest like stand-up comedians I've ever seen. And he went up and he's just full of energy, and he would do this crazy act out, really rile the people up and be like on the floor and standing up and freaking out like, whoa, and he's like, yeah, Juilliard. And then he's like, should have went. Didn't even audition. That was probably the first time I ever heard of it. Anyways, I decided to try out for things. Spent some time cramming some fucking Shakespeare into my head, some monologue ding-dongs, till I could go read them for 3 minutes in New Haven and at the fucking Lincoln Center in New York for some people, and them say, all right, nice job. Try again next year. Anyways, wasn't too butthurt about it, but that was next on the journey. Trying for the old drama schools. You know, here's the thing about acting. It's just like all art. It's all art. You could say this about it. You can train and get better at it. You also got some instincts in there, dude. You know, like I play guitar. There's a lot of guitarists that can rip on a guitar, and they kind of couldn't tell you what they're playing via words. They couldn't describe the scales, the patterns, the methodology, the theory behind what they're playing, but they can play it. And on the flip, you could have some professor spit out at you. He could be like, this is an A minor diminished seventh scale with a harmonic natural. You know, they could really break it down, tell you what you're playing, but they might not even they might not be able to play the shit themselves or fucking improvise it or create it. Anyways, in terms of acting, you know, I went out to Los Angeles and I had already been acting at Michigan State. I just landed some like TV role at Michigan State and learned on the fly, and you just fly with instinct. And a lot of artists like that anyways, you know, you kind of get it. You learn by imitating and watching, and you have this feeling of what you want to do with it. But along the way in Los Angeles, I got some training. You know, you get some basic training. Like you get some on-camera classes where, you know, they tell you some real shit that you need. Like, hey, quit shaking your head so much every time you fucking talk, you idiot. You know, or just calm down. A lot of it's that. A lot of it's like stop, you know. Or maybe do. More, you know. And then once you learn how to stop and relax, you learn how to like prep with some emotion or take it away. And, you know, a lot of it is fucking memorizing your lines, but that's being prepared so you can go to work. Anyways, where am I getting at? Why did I never dream of Juilliard or Yale before? Oh, because I didn't fucking need it, man. I was too good. You know, when I went to, okay, so I act for like 4 years in college, you know, all the time. It's just fun. And I wasn't in the theater program there. That's the thing. I was like a film major, and I went out for this TV show on campus and got it. And so that, yeah, when I went out to Los Angeles, I got an agent right away. And like, no one gives a fuck about like your resume in terms of theater school, or I don't know, maybe if you got Juilliard already on there, they would, but the agents certainly don't, and the casting directors don't. And I got fucking auditions for huge shit right away. And then I like booked big shit like right away. And people that I know that are great actors that had the pedigree and training, that did the theater program, it just didn't work for them. And that doesn't mean that they're not. It's bullshit, really. It's just rigged against them because the opportunities are so vain that luckily I am like this Wonder Bread white kid in a lot of like boring roles, which are a vast number of them. They try and cast me, you know, so I had a good leg up. Anyways, so I was just doing the shit and you know, feel like, oh, I don't need shit. But then I wasn't even doing theater. I didn't even read plays way back then. But then after I had booked like a big fucking show, you know, I got some network television show shit. I was like, oh man, let's just explore. And so I did start digging deeper, just out of the love and interest for theater. And I took the Meisner class with Bill Alderson, and we're reading plays, and I'm just, you know, I just love text, man. I dig like new text and forms of art and stuff. And so I'd already been acting for probably close to 10 years before I started getting into plays, you know, and being like, whoa, this is the good shit. Edward Albee, this is some fucking punk rock, you know. Shakespeare, it's like, oh, Shakespeare so much. And when I was in 10th grade, it sucked, but I'm like, what is it? And I'm like, oh, it is pretty cool, you know. But dude, I had like the fucking training. I did like this conservatory. It wasn't the Juilliard. It was like, you know, this guy that came from the neighborhood playhouse, you know, off of the acting studio and the group theater, like from that route, the Stanislavski shit. So then after that, when I went to New York, and I was like, all right, it's time to do some plays. And I booked some plays, did some plays, and I met the Juilliard. I met some kids that were like in there, and I was just like, oh, that's not my vibe, man. It's too serious, dude. You just can't. You got to revere stuff, but I don't know. There's a level of it. And you know what? I have that with everything. Even fucking stand-up comedians. I can't stand 95% of the comedians I encounter because there's, but you know, there's a fucking dope 5% in there. That's still a ton of people because there's too many comics. Anyways. Yeah. Did I give all the reasons why I don't feel bad I didn't get into fucking Yale or Juilliard? Most people don't get in. I can always try again, but I didn't yet. What else am I going to say about that? You know, it's an era where, is everybody watching what's going on with the old acting game? Not acting, entertainment as a species, dude. Sitting back on your Netflix. There's no movie studios anymore, man. They got Disney. If you're not following, I'm probably going to get this wrong. And this is a comedy podcast about bullshit you're not supposed to take seriously. Years ago, and I'm talking like the 20s, dude, there was like 5 fucking studios. Which really, that's not a lot anyways. But there was like the old Fox, there's RKO, Paramount. I don't fucking, there's probably 2 more. I don't know if it was Warner Brothers yet. Maybe it was. Maybe it was Warner Brothers way back then. Anyways, somewhere around the 90s and the 2000s, the shit became, it's like there's a Disney studio. Oh, there was in the 20s too. I think Disney had one. But say like current era, modern era, you know, before 10 years ago, there's Disney, there's 20th Century Fox still rolling, you know, there was NBC, there was Paramount, there was Sony, and probably some more other ones, and they all do a little business with each other. Like Sony's got Columbia. Anyways, okay, around 2016 or whatever, Disney buys fucking Fox, okay? And they buy them so they can get the X-Men characters. So if you're a nerd back then, there's like 2 separate universes, and everyone really figured out the studios a little bit because they're like, oh, Marvel's got Iron Man, but Fox has got the X-Men, you know? They can't do movies together because fuck. All right? So then Disney eats Fox as monopoly, basically, and shit. Everyone's like, hooray! Okay? Now, meanwhile, this all ties in with the death of the movie theaters, too, kids, okay? This is with the death of the movie theaters. So they do that, and all around the same time, Netflix is getting hot, man. And you got these streaming services, right? Now, if you pay attention to the laws back in the day, they made it, because in the 20s, it was like you went to a RKO, Randy Orton, motherfucker. You go to RKO or a Disney movie theater back in the day, or a Fox movie theater. It's made by the Fox studio. So, like, Fox makes their own movies. They put it out in their own movie theaters. They own their own actors, basically, and it's vertical integration. You own every piece of it. Somewhere around there, I don't know, it was the 20s or 30s, FCC, they step in and they're like, hey, that's a monopoly. You own everything, you know? There's no room for growth or anything. You have a you have a stranglehold, whatever you call it, like on everything. You own the actors. The actors don't have as much, you know, any different places to negotiate or go on. They're locked into these contracts. Okay, so they make it so you can't vertically integrate. The theater has to be owned by someone else, okay? So then it becomes a different thing. You have movie theaters, and then, you know, Disney or something, you got to try and make a good fucking movie, and you got to try and, like, sell it to these things, but you don't just, like, own it flat out, right? And that's the way it operated. Now, even that was fucking rigged and Epstein Island up for years, okay? But when the streaming services happened, we got Disney Plus. You got your own movie theater now. You got CBS, you know, they make their Paramount Plus. You got your own movie theater. HBO, Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers creates HBO Max. That's their own movie theater, okay? And they had a little wiggle room in there for 2 fucking years where they said, hey, this isn't a monopoly. This isn't total vertical integration, because they still take the movies to the movie theater first. So it's got to have a release date there. And then it goes on streaming services just like it would for video and DVD and all that. It's like streaming service is just your new DVD. It's no big deal. So they play that fucking game, and they put the fucking they put the movies in the movie theater for like 1 or 2 weeks. Whereas in the 90s, like a fucking Forrest Gump was in there all year long, man. Days of Thunder. They went around that track 365 days, man. Now you got this, you know, a Marvel movie stays in for 2 months, but every other movie, it's like you got one screening and then you get the fuck out. And now they don't even fucking do that. It's like no movies out. They're just not, man. I get if you live in a huge market, you can go see an indie film every week, but still, it's only in there for like 1 fucking week. It's bullshit, dude. It's on streaming the next week. Why is this bad? Why is this bad? Because it's monopolized, dude. It's monopolized in a way where fucking Game of Thrones shit, man. The Targaryens or the Lannisters, it's like their show. You go to watch the Lannister show. And they own the theater, and it's the only show to go to or see. So it's the only thing to fucking do. But they're only hiring their own fucking actors. And they're only fucking giving work to their own Lannister directors. And they're only giving jobs to their Lannisters. And they're keeping all the fucking... They're screwing everyone. They're keeping you all out. There's no fucking movie theater. They're like, yeah, if you want to make your own thing, go do your own thing. But we rig all the services where you can watch them, so no one's going to fucking watch your shit anyways. So he's watching my fucking Captain Lannister. Is this making any sense? This isn't making any sense. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or a terrible job. Hopefully a terrible job. You're not supposed to take any of this shit seriously. In the latest week, Netflix has been set to buy Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers is going to go away. Okay? And then in a surprise swerve, they're like, no, man, don't worry. Fucking Paramount's going to buy Warner Brothers. It's like, why is that better? Why is that? And everyone's like feeling bad for Netflix now. And I'm like, God. Whatever it is. I just feel like everything's just such a fucking work. Whatever. It's, I don't know. It's a time to be alive. I'm trying to get into drama school. I don't know where I'm going to go to keep acting. It will, I don't know. I'll just keep making my own shit, you know, until Netflix buys me. I'm trying. Anyways, let's get off that shit. That's the state of the industry, though. And I'm in the entertainment industry. This is the entertainment industry. So, whatever. I do tell my friends or anyone that'll watch, I'm like, dude, it's like a weird time where everyone has all the tools in their home to make their own movie and be a star in their own movie or their own radio show like this or their own comedy, you know. But it's never been bleaker as like the prospect of trying to make a little ka-ching for it. They're like, oh, you can just put it out. You put it out for free. It's like, yeah, but man, I gotta make dollars to eat, man. And like, oh, how do you fucking have energy to get through that? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. All right. All right, let me go through the program. Let me go through the program of things I've been watching, reading, downloading, putting into the old stinking tinking brain of mine. Man, I watched so many movies all throughout my whole life that I'm just like, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to watch less of them, or if I do, watching new ones. So, what did I watch? I watched that Begonia movie everyone's talking about. Can't remember what it was about. I can't fucking remember what the fuck anything's about anymore. Fucking Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, aliens or shit. It's right up my alley. It's like aliens and weird conspiracy theorists and the kidnapper. There's some weird shit, but the thing that stuck to me the most in this movie was she was talking about a salary. Like she was saying goodbye to her office and telling the security guard. She's like, oh, yeah, if there's nothing going on, leave. But if you feel like you should stay. Or it's just like a weird in-between. I was like, that's the weird. Man, culture's fucking weird. That's salary, hours, log them. Whatever. What else I watch? Anemone. Fucking Daniel Day-Lewis movie. It's a new movie. Like he always says he retires from acting or whatever, but his son made this movie. It was like a whiskey commercial, essentially. Him and Sean Bean. Dude, Boromir from fucking Lord of the Rings and Ned Stark. I don't remember diddly dick about this movie either. I just they're like dancing drunk to some like techno music. That was fucking cool. I don't remember what it was about, but I do remember Daniel Day-Lewis was good in it. I'll tell you that. So I watched him, that weird football, Illuminati, satanic movie with fucking Marlon Wayans and that other dude, that young dude who's all jacked that's in all these teen shows like Tell Me Lies. Oh, I forgot. I'll get to Tell Me Lies too. I'll talk about that. Yeah. Him was weird. I don't know what the fuck to say. Weird devil shit. Devil football stuff. I don't know. It's weird. Fucking weird. It feels weird. It feels like weird Epstein shit they tell us for real. Also, I watched The Luckiest Man in the World, starring one of my favorite actors of all time that I have met, Paul Walter Hauser. I say it all the time. I met this guy when he worked at Flappers, man. I wish he still remembered me. He is a talent house. He's a person I saw pre-famous, and now he's famous. I don't know. Seems pretty famous. Dude, this about a dude who like went on some game show in like the 70s or 80s, and he like memorized the pattern, and he kept fucking winning on this game show, buzzing in at the right time. He memorized the pattern. Gosh. It was good. Paul was amazing, obviously. I just remember I looked up the Wikipedia, and the real story was way juicier about the dude. Like, I think he like died on the run years later, like running. He's in some other fucking scheme or something. I just thought, like, holy shit. They should have showed me that, man. They just showed him like getting away with his fucking game. I don't know. There's more. There's more on the table. Also, I watched The Rip, that new Ben Affleck, Matt Damon Netflix movie. Dude, this is like the worst movie on this list, but I liked it the most. It was so like, oh, in your face, repeating the plot over and over again. I can just kind of like, it was a movie you've seen before, but I don't know. It's entertaining. Watched it with my buddy. The Smashing Machine. Dude, big time letdown by that movie. The Rock, he plays Mark Kerr, one of the like earliest UFC fighters, Pride fighters. I love The Rock's performance. I loved the directing and like the look of it. And Emily Blunt, like, there's just no story, man. I don't know. And I guess sometimes it's like there's not a real explicit story. I'm not saying that, But sometimes I don't know. I wanted more. It seemed like a nothing movie. I was like, did you look up who Mark Kerr was? I don't know. I watched Bruce Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. This was badass movie. I really enjoyed this movie. You know, one of my favorite music biopics of all time. You know, I love good old Johnny Cash doing some pills, ripping off the fucking sink and toilet, breaking shit. Drugs and sex ruined my life. Drugs and sex. Ow, ow, ow. This Bruce Springsteen movie was a good old-fashioned movie about the recording process, which is a real mother-frontin' thing, man. Dude, I give guitar lessons, and I sit down with my students, and we try to learn songs that they want to fucking learn, you know? Whether it's fucking Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, or My Chemical Romance, fucking I'm Not Okay, I Promise. We try and replicate the sound off the album, and I'm like, you know, I show them some tricks, some strumming patterns. I try and tell them about tone and show them how different guitars sound, your acoustic versus your electric. But I say, hey, it's just you by yourself. That's going to be tough to make anything sound like that dude made it sound on that record. It's tough for him to replicate it live, him or her, or whatever, dude. It's just a lot of times you listen to something, and it's a guitar part, but really on that record, it might be like two guitars really creating that tone, or a different instrument in the back really filling it out. There's an extra color to it somewhere. It's just tough. And that's what Bruce Springsteen was, dude. And I don't know what was exactly true or not. This felt pretty realistic either way. You know, he did some demos in his room, and he brings it to like re-record. You go to re-record what he recorded with his guitar, and they can't get it to match. And he's like, well, fucking just find a way to extract that audio. You know, he didn't have MP3s back in the day. They had to find a way to get it off the tape onto a record. I thought the movie was amazing. Paul Walter Hauser was in that too. Yeah. Jeez. What a powerhouse. All right, I guess that's most of the new movies I've watched of recent, you know. I watched this documentary called The Secret Apartment. Ugh, feels embarrassing I'm saying all this stuff from Netflix, but it is what it is. You know, I watched The Secret Apartment, and it was good about these people that fucking carved out a space in the mall and lived in it. You know, as someone who used to hang out at Walmart and Meijer as a kid for fun, because, like, what the fuck else do you do? You know, if you already saw the movie in theaters, you already went to the bowling alley, you're like, let's go fuck around at Walmart. I really understood this movie, this doc, these people. What else is going on? Let me take a chug of this La Croix. TV. Watch one of the greatest television shows in recent memory. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies, baby. All alone, no sucking my lies, baby. Dude, Tell Me Lies, this television show about kids in 2008 at college, which is right when I was going to college. About some hardcore kids. They're all lying to each other, cheating on each other, doing all this shit. Oh, man, I don't even know. I'm not here to like give like a full synopsis or something. This show was delicious. It was just about sin, and it made me feel like we were watching to all be complicit in sin, you know? And it was only 3 seasons. I'm going to say this about Tell Me Lies, okay? Because it's like you're watching a wedding and you're watching a show. It's these dual timelines, the power of cross-cutting. Fucking This Is Us really made good work of that. Made you cry. This one made you fucking angry. It's like, who's going to hook up with who? Who's trying to ruin the wedding? Who's not? I'm just going to say this. There's a lot left on the table as far as plot. The plot was juicy, but I could feel in that last half of the third season, those last 5 episodes, there's a lot of wrap it up and a lot of stuff where I think a 4th or 5th season really would have filled in, especially Diana's storyline, Bree's storyline with her brother and her mother could have been more filled out, as well as Wrigley and Bree, and you know what I'm talking about there, as well as Evan and Bree, okay? I even think there's plenty more about Steven and the Macy car accident. There's just a whole fucking lot. You know, we need to drum up so much attention that we bring Tell Me Lies Season 4. And they tell us that most of what we saw in that last episode was a fever dream a la Dallas. I know my television history. And we pick up where we left off, and we really show you the advice that Oliver gave Evan in terms of manipulating Bree and making her close. And there's just a lot. I think about it every day. This is me thinking about the ending of Tell Me Lies is going to be like the invasion angle at the end of 1999, 2000, whenever fucking WWF bought WCW and they didn't bring him in the right way. They should have came out with a fucking Goldberg spear versus Stone Cold, and they didn't. They really fucking milked that shit and made it bad. Okay, I'm gonna calm down. Start talking about the Attitude Era wrestling, and things just get fucked. You know what I mean? You do. I've been reading. I read Project Hail Mary. I haven't read a novel in a long time, and it really brought me joy. You know, I've been reading so many plays out loud in the last year. Just really put that in your head. Project Hail Mary. This movie, it's going to be a movie, a Ryan Gosling movie coming out. My fiancée, she's told me to read this book, and it reminded me of Jurassic Park. The way it makes you like math. You know, these guys were figuring out hard science along the way. It's the dude that wrote The Martian, you know. What else am I going to say about that? I don't know. You didn't read it. Maybe it did. Probably did because it's probably just my fiance listening to this. So she's like, "What did you think of Project Hail Mary?" I already told you. That was amazing. Very interstellar-y, you know, in terms of trying to save the planet. And sunshiny. It reminded me of Sunshine. You know, guy leaving the planet, save the planet. How'd you really do it? Oh, you know what else I read? Jane Eyre. Didn't like it. Boring. Didn't get through more than 3 or 4 fucking pages of that. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. Yeah. This fucking book. I saw it laying around here. It's like a woman book, and I see Jane Eyre comes up on Jeopardy all the time as a answer. So I'm like, okay, should I read it? And it's a coming of age story about a woman. And it's not, whatever. It'd be boring if it was about a man. I didn't like it. I'm too old to spend too much time reading something that's boring, that's fake. Okay? Now, if it's based in fact, or if it's Shakespeare, you know, I'll sit down and read the shit. But if it's boring and it's imaginary, turn it off, okay? Like you should with this podcast. This is an act of fiction. It's an act of fiction. What other plays? I read The Iceman Cometh. I read that because it's by Eugene O'Neill. I've never read Eugene O'Neill. And I love that line in Whiplash when J.K. Simmons says to Miles Teller, he goes, "You telling me that your mommy left daddy because he wasn't Eugene fucking O'Neill?" Because his dad was a writer. I don't know. The Iceman Cometh. It's great. Also read A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen. Henrik Ibsen. You know, when you go to look up plays, there's Shakespeare, and then there's this fucking old guy, Henrik Ibsen, this Norwegian guy from the 1800s. That's good shit. Yeah, you know what I always appreciate whenever you read an old play? times haven't changed. Like, this is just a play about a lady who doesn't like her dude, and they're figuring out their money problems and their sex problems and all their life. And it's just the same boring bullshit. It never stops. I feel like in Norwegians, they just never quit. A Doll's House. I always regret I didn't see A Doll's House when Jessica Chastain played in it, you know, just because it'd be good little history to watch. I'll have to find a copy of that somewhere. I did see Hedda Gabler when I was in college. Went to Michigan State. I saw Hedda Gabler written by Henrik Ibsen, and I didn't remember anything about it. Couldn't even like pay attention until the very end when she shot herself in the fucking head. And I was like, hold on, I should have been watching. Yeah, that's what I know about Ibsen. It's pretty good. In poetry, I've been trying to round it out. You know, you pick up a book, you pick up a play, you pick up a poem. Try and switch it up. I read this Richard Seekin poem. Looking for a contemporary guy, you know. My fiance had this laying around. It's one of her favorites. Oh, man. What can I say about Richard Seekin? I liked it, dude. It's cool. I don't know. It was weird. You know, he's like throwing a lot of words against the wall. He's talking about broken glass and blood a lot and dudes. He's really gay. It's really gay. It's very gay poetry, I must say. It's good. It's good. You don't know he's talking about romance and heartbreak and fucking trauma. Not trauma, but like violence. He's talking about violence a lot, it feels like. And just like weird stuff. Kind of like disjointed. Kind of like this podcast. Disjointed. Anyways, read some Richard Seekin. If you get a fucking chance. What else I got going on here? Been playing video games. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption at my downtime. You know, I got back into the video games a couple years ago. Just a little bit, once in a while. Just like, if you're bored, you don't know what to do. Don't try this. You did it when you were a kid. It's kind of fun being a cowboy. I gotta be honest, you get in some sticky situations on Red Dead Redemption sometimes where someone rushes up on you and you don't know the buttons and you try to talk to them, you accidentally shoot them in the head. And I'm at the age where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't fucking mean to do that, dude. Fuck, shit. Because it really changes if you're like a good cowboy or a bad cowboy. And I was like, I was trying to be good. I just don't have the fucking buttons figured out, man. Yeah. I guess that's what I've been doing, watching and reading. Alright, you uneducated racists! Alright, everyone out there, time for the sports report. I'm unfortunately at the point in my life where I watch a lot of sports again, like I did when I was a kid. Fuck, man. You just do that. You play Madden all your life. You play the sports. You watch the sports on the weekends. And then you're in your 20s and you're like, nah, I'm going to do open mics and art and not watch any sports. Why did I ever fucking watch that shit? And then you slow down and you're like, hold on, let's stay in a few nights a week. You're like, oh, what am I going to do? You start following your alma mater, Michigan State. It was a terrible, terrible football season, but I still watched every gosh darn game. And the basketball team is pretty damn good, and we always are. I've been to East Lansing. I always have that joke because my favorite NFL team is the Steelers, and I've never been to Pittsburgh. But I am a Michigan State alum, allegedly. Dick Dickerson, class of 58. Me and my buddies, we went to an MSU game. Yeah, oh gosh, this year, we went to Northwestern MSU game. Oh shit, hold on. I gotta log off. The window guy is here. He's here to measure the window. I'll come back. Jack, come back. False alarm. Window guy's not here. Broke a window. I don't know how it broke. Maybe it was a Cohen Carr slam dunk, motherfucker. Oh, I barely understand basketball. I'm terrible at it, but we know what it. A slam dunk. It's universal. It's cool to watch. It's such a fucking simple sport. I went to the Northwestern game. My old roommate. He's obsessed with Michigan State everything. It's the only thing he likes in this fucking world. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, dude, fucking Cam Ward, Jordan Scott, Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper. And he's like, oh, dude, this is crazy. You know all the names. And I'm like, it's not that hard, bro. It's winter. You watch like 3 games in a row. You fucking get it. I am hyper obsessive with fucking sports again, though. I really stopped watching basketball for 10 years, and I am watching every Thursday game, every Sunday game. I watched us whoop Purdue's ass last night. Hey, it wasn't a complete ass whooping. It was a fun game. Gosh. Purdue, they look so Hoosiery, if you know what I mean. And by that, I mean white. Wow. Indiana. MSU plays Indiana this fucking Sunday. We'll see if they're even whiter, And yes, I am talking about ethnicity. It just is amazing, Purdue was so Boilermakery. They really just look like the mascot. Man. That just made me think of, though. There's no Black Sparty. I've never seen a Black Sparty. That's a little racist. That is. We need Black Sparty. We need them. We need them now more than ever. Go MSU hoops. Really rooting for a really fantastic March. Take my mind off things. Watch the old Michigan State basketball. Watch some slam dunks. You got to have something outside of yourself. I used to put all my eggs into the basket of performance, and my entire self-worth was based on whether or not I got a laugh or a ha-ha or a like. And now I don't care anymore. I don't even care if we win or lose. That's not true. I care if we win. But I care that I'm invested for that 2 hours and that time is going by and there's these boys out there on the floor and what they do matters. What I do doesn't fucking matter. That's why I like watching sports. Put that forth out. Watched a K-Wings hockey game. Went to a minor league hockey game with my buddy and our gals. And minor league hockey. And dude, the people around us, you could tell they're obsessed with the Kalamazoo K-Wings. They don't watch the Detroit Red Wings. They watch the Kalamazoo K-Wings. That's who they're like, you guys got to come back when our enforcer plays, man. He was out tonight. You got to see our enforcer. I'm like, holy shit, dude. This ain't some random fucking thing to blow off on a Friday night. They're like, they come Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They come in on a Wednesday game. It's beautiful to watch, I got the Elimination Chamber. A little wrestling to look forward to tomorrow night. Dude, they got WWE all over ESPN now. They got pro wrestling. I don't even watch ESPN, but, since I'm fucking watching Michigan State all the time, and I watched the NFL season. I played fantasy football. Lost. Didn't win. So I'm like, okay. I popped on ESPN the other day. I was like, what's it like these days? First thing comes up. They're like, first up, we got to talk fighting. But they didn't even talk about UFC. They talked about wrestling. They're talking about the Elimination Chamber. Fucking A. And it's weird because I love wrestling. But I don't know. I guess that's why I came back around to sports, because I realized that it's all rigged. It's all really pro wrestling anyways. Just follow along and watch. You know what I mean, motherfuckers? Just follow along and watch. Who do I got in the chamber? Chamber prediction. Bold pre-Jep. Elimination Chamber prediction. Who? They got these. Who's in it? Cody Rhodes, LA Knight. Fuck, man. Who else is in it? I don't know. Is Austin Theory in it? Is it any of the Vision in it? Is the Vision out? Fuck it. I mean, honestly, I bet Cody Rhodes is just going to win it, because it's going to line him up for a fucking Mania match against Drew McIntyre. And, what else is Cody going to do? You got to give him some big shit.
Last year, The Rock came out and they did all the cool shit. I wonder if they'll do another cool storyline because everything's been pretty mids, as the kids used to say. What do you think? What do you think, kitty? I'm playing with my kitty right now. Really takes the edge off this podcast. See, there's something outside of yourself. That's why people get cats. The same reason people watch sports. You know, my acting teachers, he said the greatest source of inspiration is concentration on another person's emotions. Greatest source of improvisation in acting is concentration of emotions on concentration on another person's attention. Basically, the best way to fucking create is focus on somebody else, something else, not you. That's what we're doing. All right, that's probably it. That's the sports report. That's another swing at art. I'm doing this podcast. There's just no one else. No one else to do this to. No one else. Gotta ramble with something. Create some art. I like doing this the audio version too. You guys don't need the video. You can listen to this. You don't have to listen to this. You can walk away. No one's missing anything. There's no pressure. Okay, kids? Go listen to Jail Lizard or Jail Lizard, the debut acoustic album from Dick Dickerson, Jordan. Born a Dick or a Dick on. And get ready to watch Sex, Drugs, and Open Mics and watch the trailer. And may God have mercy on your soul. For all of us, please. Bye.